All growth is a blossoming. In the objective world we can look and see how a seed might grow over time, to become a towering tree. We can see a child grow in age, size, experience, and hopefully wisdom. Those that believe that it is the inner dimensions that create the outer world, as I do, believe that this amazing growth and development that all beings go through, is the consequence of an internal source. That the exterior world is the result of complexities so vast and multidimensional, that they could never possibly be manifested completely in external physical form. Even though such multidimensional complexity cannot fully manifest itself completely at any one time, it seeks to express itself as much as possible nonetheless. In the physical dimension, this multidimensional vastness can't, for example, be both a child and a full-grown man. It can't be sad and happy, weak and strong, a magician and a fool. This inner essence overcomes the limitations of the physical dimension then, by spreading the totality of itself through the medium of time. It seeks to literally push or project itself in all possible ways, in all possible realities, and it is this unfolding of inner dimension into outer physical form that we identify as growth, change, and therefore time. It is in this way that all things change, and it is in this way that humanity changes as well. As the inner dimensional nature of humanity unfolds, and expands different aspects of itself through time, the beliefs that humanity holds change as well, because these beliefs are intrinsically tied to what humanity expects to be possible, and therefore makes doable. This is so because man creates his outer image, and the capabilities of that outer image, in accordance to his beliefs, expectations, and inner needs. If his beliefs are able to change at a core level, then his expectations make available to him new possibilities and perceptions. For example, at one time, the vast majority of the Western world believed in magical beasts of all sorts, and such beliefs, coupled with a different focus of awareness, allowed the people of those times to interact and exist alongside such creatures. In this modern time, the Western world has embraced new beliefs that do not encompass such beings. As a result, modern people cannot see such glorious beings. Even when they look back in history and study the people of what we refer to as the past, they can only see myth, metaphor, and sometimes what they term delusion. Modern man finds those old beliefs ridiculous, and the power and weight of the modern focus of attention on what we modern people call rationality changes modern humanity's ability to even contemplate the possibility of a time when magical beasts roamed the earth. It is now ridiculous to think that such a world view was based on fact. A fact of a different time, dependent on different beliefs, that allowed a different aspect of the inner essence of man to interact with the world in a different way. One could say that the magical beasts of old are not gone, but that they can no longer be seen by the modern aspect of man that has blossomed into physical form. An aspect that holds different beliefs, and is engaged in different types of possible action. The old magic has been replaced by a new type of magic, a magic called technology, where miraculous machines have created a world every bit as amazing and magical as the one that was left behind. Neither world is better, they both have their good and bad. The only difference is time, and the beliefs that are part and parcel of the change that each inner aspect of man brings forth. Such unfolding is continually happening. Change is a constant, as one aspect of inner dimensional expansion pushes against another, each bringing with it new beliefs, new knowledge, and new possibilities. As humanity moves through time, a certain set of beliefs clashes against another, and in inner dimensions, the manifold inner essence of man tenaciously tries to push aspects of itself out into physically manifested form, of one kind or another. In the same way that liquids or gases might clash and intermingle in the medium of space, new and old beliefs and ideas intermingle to create new dogma, and new human possibilities in the inner dimensions, as they begin to push themselves into physical form. The human diet is something that has been a highly debated topic at times, and is an aspect of man that will most likely change in the future, as it has changed to one degree or another in every generation that has come before. There are currently some people, for example, that question established norms about what diet is best for humanity. Some, amazingly, even question whether humanity needs to eat at all. Older, more powerful established beliefs, and therefore possibilities, that are now the physically manifested norm, can be referred to as the establishment, the ruling established order, and whether this establishment comes from higher authority based on political power, or group pressure. This establishmental norm always tries to dictate what is right and wrong, and within the context of diet, it tries to dictate what and how much the average person should eat. Certain foods therefore have become taboo, placed within a veil of beliefs about what is good or bad, while other foods become the standard for certain groups, dependent on everything from race, social status, political and religious affiliations, and gender. Within this established routine of what can and should be eaten, there is also an established ideal for how much should be eaten. Most interestingly, in this modern time, there is a group of people that now find themselves in a fight against the established norm. They quite simply believe that humanity can exist on little or no food at all, and this is currently a radical belief indeed. The complexities of this belief and unfolding are many, and it is not my intention in this video to discuss these to any extent, or to explore their sources. Suffice it to say that some of these people who are currently challenging the establishment, people who call themselves breatharians, believe that it is an old skill, this ability to survive on little or no food. Another faction within this breatharians group believes that while it might be an old skill, this rebirth of modern-day breatharians is the result of a new spiritual awakening that is new to this earth. From an alchemical perspective, which is my perspective, this ability to exist on little or no food is neither old nor new. It is a forever present aspect of man that can either be allowed to unfold into physical actuality, or left dormant, very much like a dream, in the same way that now interacting with magical beasts is a dream for most modern humans. An alchemist understands and sees the world as an energetic sea, and he sees him or herself as an energetic being existing within that sea. For alchemists, therefore, the ingestion of energy does not have to happen in the same way that it does for someone bound to a completely rational, that is bound by solid objects, world view. The energetic view is a far more flexible view, and it has room for the possibility of energy absorption, without the need for the physical ingestion of food. The caveat being that a person who wishes to refine, to make manifest, the ability to live on little or no food at all, has to have, or develop, the ability to absorb energy in a different way, a more refined way. Living on little or no food therefore is quite possible to an alchemist, as long as that person is able to master energy absorption techniques like the ones that certain alchemists practice. In order to live on little to no food, in order to become one of these new breatharians, a person needs to master these alchemical skills. Energy absorption is a necessity, but physical ingestion of food is not, for these masters. But, to make this aspect of the human potential possible, a person must first master new skills, new energetic possibilities. In that sense, then, a person must engage in the great work of refining his or her essence, and become an altogether different kind of being. This personal refinement can be equated to the act of turning lead into gold. And if this one person can change, then this person becomes an outlier, which is a person who is different or detached from the main body of the ruling establishment. But if more change, if enough people change, and make manifest a new human possibility, where perhaps many can now exist on little or no food, instead ingesting energy directly from the environment, then a tipping point is reached. When this tipping point is reached, a new inner essence of man becomes manifest, and in time it becomes the norm. It becomes the new truth, as humanity goes from one possibility to another. If you would like to know more about alchemy, and the specific techniques used by alchemists to ingest energy without the need for physical food, then I recommend the book, Overcoming the Archon Through Alchemy. There you will discover the power of the Holy Alchemical Trinity, and the power of the Impolarity, which makes this type of energy absorption a possibility, if, and only if, these techniques are mastered. I will leave a link to the book in the description below.